Hi everyone, it's the English Simmer here, and I am late, but it's fine. I'm just going with the flow. Today, we're going to be checking out the brand new update for The Sims 4. Everyone now has the 3 base game likes and dislikes, which are colors, hobbies and activities, and also music preferences. So we're going to be playing with a couple of those. We also have 6 new hairstyles. We had the bunk bed patch update. I'm very excited to check out this patch, and I already know that I have thoughts about it. Would you believe there are actually thoughts behind these eyes today? As always, the lovely Sims team, Simguru Rusky, Simguru Jill, and PJ have written up the patch notes. Additional bunk bed placement options. We all know that the bunk beds we got originally were the first iteration. I was very disappointed with that fact, and I mean, I kind of wish they had held off until they were working this way, but hey ho, they're working this way now. You've played with bunk beds, but now you get to play with them more. More objects can be slotted underneath a top bunk. So basically, what this has fixed is originally, you couldn't use, like, the tile underneath the steps, the ladder, because it would just eradicate the bunk bed usage. However, now you can stick desks under there, dresses, sofas, whatever tickles your pickle for going under your bunk bed, you can now do it, which obviously makes those spaces more worthwhile. You can also fit a double bed under there, a toddler bed. Likes and dislikes. Your Sims can now have likes and dislikes. For our first sweep, there it is again, first iteration. I do actually have some thoughts on this, which we will go into when I actually hop in to create a sim, because there are some that I definitely feel are missing, and also like some additions or like not fixes, but like things that I would change about the likes and dislikes. If you updated your game yesterday, you now have this. Also, reminder, back up your saves before you update. Don't ruin your game, because that's no fun. Any sim, child and older, can now have up to 20 likes and dislikes that can be dispersed individually across the different categories. You don't have to fill those 20 slots. Also, some of them can occur during gameplay. If your sim is in a good mood when they're taking part in an activity, for example, they get a pop-up that says, hey, I'm really having fun with this. Do you want to add it as a hobby? Yes or no. If you choose no, it just ignores it. It doesn't turn it into a dislike. I have seen that rumor online, but it just basically gives you an option to ignore it. You can also hop back into Create a Sim at any time and remove any of these, add any of these, so it does affect the autonomy. For example, Sims that don't like to cook won't cook as often as you probably usually see them do. If you have a sim who dislikes fitness, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will stop them doing push-ups and sit-ups all the damn time whenever they're energized. On the other hand, Sims will generally want to autonomously do activities they like and will similarly get an added mood boost from doing these things. Listening to music a sim likes or dislikes will give them positive or negative buffs, so it's basically hinged on the emotion system. However, it also, if you dislike it, it drains the fun at a faster speed, and if you like it, it actually increases fun at a faster speed. I did talk about this in my thought of the game pack video. I personally would also like to see it affect how quickly or how not quickly, how slow your sim actually goes up in that skill. Some people did respond to me with like, yeah, but I know people in real life who like really hate cooking but are really good at it. That's all well and good, but like, I want it to affect gameplay more than just like a fun or a buff. I personally, that's just the way that I would go with it. That's what I would prefer. You might not agree, but I can still have that opinion. You can also find out what the NPCs like and dislike. I think they will just be randomized every single save file, so I don't think, for example, Johnny Zest is like always gonna like blue in every single save file. I think it'll just like autonomously add them. But remember, you can go into Create a Sim anytime with those townies or NPCs. It's what I'm looking forward to doing, is like giving them all personality with their likes and dislikes. Then we got new hair colors. We got 6 new hair colors. Don't ask me why 3 of them are blonde and 2 of them are brown. Personally, I don't think we needed 3 extra blondes. We already had 3 blondes in the game. I personally would have preferred to see 1 less of these blondes, because this one, like, isn't different. Like, let's be real, it's really not that different. I'll show you in game. Again, this is my personal opinion, but I would have preferred to see a red or just something a little bit different, or like a purple, like a lilac maybe. I just feel like we definitely didn't need 3 blondes. And then there's a whole load of bug fixes, which I will leave this linked down below. So if you want to go check out the bug fixes in more detail, you can do so. All right, hairstyle wise, we did get a new black, which is meant to be like a more neutral. Obviously, the original black that we had in the game had definitely more of a bluish tint to it, whereas this one definitely looks like a truer black. I will say a lot of the swatches do have like a weird grey in them, and I don't know if the game can get any darker than this. I feel like it probably can, because I feel like I have some custom content hairs that are definitely darker than this, but for example, this is like darker, but it has more of a blue tint to it, and then this is lighter and has sort of like a grey ashiness to it. I will say I have gone through almost every single hair in the game, and you can definitely tell that they've taken that blue tint off most of them, which I'm really, really thankful for. A lot of the newer hairs look better than the older hairs. The base game hairs really seem to suffer, and then some of like the older stuff packs, like they just have this weird ashiness to them. And like, I'm not really too fussed by it, but for this one, for example, like there's the blue tone, that's the one that we originally had. This is now the truer black, but it has that like grey ashiness. And then if you go to like the grey hair, like the black grey hair, I feel like there's not too much of a difference. Like, yes, obviously there's more grey in it, whereas like some of them definitely look a lot better. So it fully depends on what hair you use. This was my personal favorite. I absolutely love this hairstyle in the true black. Like, this Strangerville one has been upgraded so much. Like, the difference is wild. I think they did such a good job on so many of these hairs, but there are a few where I'm like, ooh. And then there is actually a new dark brown, which I had to download an old sim who had a dark brown color. This is the original dark brown. This is the new dark brown. So it kind of just, I don't even know like how to describe it, but it's like a little bit lighter and has more of like a, I don't know, it looks more mousy, but I definitely don't feel like this was needed all that much. Because then if we go to the like medium brown that we had, like it's kind of in the middle of them. Then we have this like mousy brown, which is pretty much my hair color. It's very much, I am that person, I'm not trying to sound like live, laugh, love, but I am that person who no one can tell me what color my eyes are, and nobody can tell me what color my hair is. Because I ask some people and they're like, it's really like dark, dirty blonde. And then some people are like, no, it's definitely brown, like a light mousy brown. Do I think we needed all of these different colors? Not really. I mean, this one I actually prefer because this one's way more neutral. So this was the light brown that we had, which is definitely more of a chestnut. Like, it's got that reddy feel to it, whereas this one is a lot more like, I don't want to say natural because this is also a natural hair color, but it has more of like a bronzy tone to it than like this like chestnut one. I really like this. This is actually my favorite out of the recolors. The 3 blondes, I don't know, I already said that I don't really feel like we needed them. So we have this sort of like darker blonde, which sort of sits in the middle of these two that we had. These were the 3 original blondes. So we had this like super cool one. We had this one, which is the favorite. This is like the old school strawberry blonde-esque. And then we have the cheese hair, which no one uses. So this is pretty much in the middle. Like it's a little bit darker than the like sort of strawberry blonde. I like them. I just don't think we needed 3 blondes. Then we have this one, which this is the one where I'm like, we did not need this. Like, I'm happy for the people who this resembles, and like you can make yourselves a little bit more accurately, I guess. But, I mean, this one is so similar to this one, in my opinion. And then the final one, which is actually my favorite, is this sort of, like, platinum, blonde, white, silver, whatever you want to call it. Usually when you wanted to get this hair color in The Sims 4, you'd have to go for, like, this icy gray, whereas now we have more of a platinum blonde, and I am personally a really big fan of it. I really like this hair color. This is the blonde that I'm like, yes, I feel like we needed this. And then over here under our aspiration, we have the likes and dislikes. Obviously, those 3 that I talked about, we are actually getting decor as well. I think that might be for like teens and above, but it might just be young adults and above. But when we actually get Dream Home Decorator, if you actually get that pack, you get another addition to this, which is like favorite decor, which I will be going through in my early access. We'll be having a look at them. Keep in mind, I do have all of the packs installed. I think colors are all to do with the base game. These actually do carry over, so for each of the likes and dislikes, you can just have 20 in total. I'm gonna say he likes Americana, but he dislikes classical. I do like the animations that they get. Like, he's like, oh, no thanks. Not for me. I've also given him traits that actually don't really affect what he does autonomously. So I didn't make him like athletic or a bookworm or anything like that, because I wanted to see how much of a role the hobbies and activities actually played. This is what I want to talk about in a little bit more detail, because I definitely think there are some missing, and I'm sure the Sims team know this. I'm sure I've seen plenty of people on Twitter talk about this, but the ones that I personally feel are missing, like I said, I have every single pack installed, so I'm just going to scroll through them as I talk about this. But reading actually isn't in there. I know we have the bookworm trait, but I mean, we have an athletic trait which autonomously makes our Sims do more fitness stuff. So why do we not have like a reading hobby? I definitely think that's missing. Knitting, even if you have nifty knitting, we don't have it. Flower arranging that came with seasons. We have gardening, but it's a completely different skill, so I feel like that's missing. Archaeology, which is such a big hobby. I'm shocked that archaeology, if you have jungle adventure, isn't in there. Herbalism from outdoor retreat also isn't classed as a hobby. And then personally, I think chess should maybe be in there. We don't really have anything to do with like, we have a couple of like the logic stuff, like we have programming. No, that helps the programming. I don't really think we have any for logic, but like playing chess could definitely be classed as a hobby in my opinion. Hiking, if you have Snowy Escape, we do have hiking trails. Fabrication and juice fizzing, if you have eco lifestyle, both of those are missing. The medium, like, I don't know, psychic, but if you have paranormal activity, I was gonna say paranormal activity, we don't have like a medium hobby. And then also like cleaning, I feel like this would be a really handy way to like have your sim have a cleaning hobby, so like they'll autonomously clean more or like hoover more if you have that kit. I think there could be wider ones which cleaning kind of falls under, like it takes in like base game but also other packs that we've had. Clubbing, like for example your sim likes going out to like nightclubs and stuff, maybe. And then also swimming, I feel like swimming shouldn't be classed as fitness. I definitely think that should be its own thing. I know it helps with the fitness skill, kind of the difference between wellness, which is yoga, and fitness. Like swimming is its own thing. Like Sims who love bodybuilding probably like they could like swimming on top of that, but like if you like swimming, that doesn't mean you should instantly like bodybuilding. So I think a couple of these could be broken up a little bit more. Jet skiing as well. If we have like island living, I think jet skiing could definitely be a hobby because you can own jet skis. They did say this was like the first edition. We may even get like bigger categories as well. Like they may actually add on different categories depending on what we get in the future and things like that. I'm sure they're always going to add to this. I can imagine it being like the club system from Get Together, like constant reworks basically. Oh my god, this personality section is getting so ridiculous. Here you can see his likes and dislikes. So he likes Americana, he dislikes classical music. I gave him a bunch of hobbies. I also gave him like stuff to do on the computer. So he likes writing, he dislikes programming, he likes baking but he hates cooking. He also dislikes fitness and violin but enjoys guitar. So I'm gonna put each one of these objects down and like see if that affects his autonomy at all. I guess whilst I'm in build mode, it's a good time to show you the bunk beds. So let me turn this way. And then he had a double bed in this room, and as you can see, it snaps to it, and it actually has that pulsating light around it. They actually went through this. This has to do with the new pack and all the modular furniture. So when it actually pulsates when you put it under something, and then as you hover over it, if you click they called it the mother object, but it's the object that you place down first, you can actually move them all together. So double beds fit under there and it will just like snap to it, which is really nice to see. Also, if you have a desk, you can also snap a desk to it. If you hover over it, again, the mother item pulsates and you can move the whole thing. You can also change it the other way as well, so you can do it this way, and Sims will still be able to use the chair, they'll still be able to use the bed, which definitely could not be said the first iteration of bunk beds that we actually had. And again, you can stick any 2-tile object under here now, so if you wanted to put like a couch under here, you definitely are able to do so. So music, he likes Americana, so I'm gonna turn on to Americana and see if he gets anything from that. I'm gonna go listen to the Americana. He was just gonna go watch TV, so autonomy not really playing an effect right now, but he's happy. That's my jam from liking played music. Excellent taste in music. Andre is all about Americana music. I'm gonna change the station to classical, and instantly he's feeling tense. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of emotions right now, so it's changing quite quickly. As you have more emotions, this is only a +2, so it may not be the strongest emotion that your sim is feeling, but disliking played music. What is that horrible sound? Andre can't stand this classical music. And then he gets like his tense face, and he's still kind of bobbing to it, but he definitely does not look as if he is enjoying it. Having a bad time from Andre's preferences. Sims who are exposed to things they dislike for extended periods of time will slowly be driven mad. Try surrounding them with things they prefer instead. Okay, he's gone to play the guitar and he's enjoying it. Heck yeah, I love the guitar. Andre is in their element. Sims who are doing something they prefer gain increased fun. Also, I see you Sims team with the they them. Yes, give me more freedom in my notifications, please and thank you, when it comes to gender. Ooh, he's now very angry, having a really bad time. I'm gonna pause this because it's definitely depleting very fast because I had him leave. Well, he left the room. He basically got to a point where he couldn't listen to music anymore. Sims who are exposed to things they dislike for extended periods of time will slowly be driven mad. Try surrounding them with things they prefer instead. So it gives them a +3 angry, but then kind of once they leave the room and like aren't surrounded by what they dislike, it will definitely start to go away quite quickly. Finally, let's just get him to practice programming. He goes tense. I hate programming. Andre can't stand this. When will this torment end? Sims who are doing something they dislike are susceptible to fun reduction. However, what is quite fun is he has definitely like conflicting. I don't know if this is fun or like if this is going to annoy you in your game, but he's a Renaissance sim, which means he wants to like, I can't remember what the exact aspiration is. The sim wants to be good at many things, so he actually wants to achieve like logic skill, but because of his aspiration, he actually wants to level up in the programming skill, even though he doesn't like programming. So it kind of adds a little bit of conflict to your game, which I actually quite like. However, I can see some people disliking that. That's where I'm gonna round up this video here though. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know how you feel about this update. Also, let me know what hair colors you would like to see. I really do think we needed that like true black. Yes, I do think a couple of them still need a rework, but it's nice that we like finally have them in the game. And obviously I'm really happy that the bunk beds are fixed. You all know how annoyed I was by that originally. I do like likes and dislikes. I guess when I have like all of my mods in my game and also like I'm playing a sim for quite a while, I want to know like how much impact they'll have. I definitely think this is a good base, but I felt that way about Sentiments. I still hope and wish that the team are going to go back to Sentiments and like actually make them more powerful, because they're there and they're fun. I just wish that they did more, and I kind of feel that same way about likes and dislikes. I hope that they do add in the ones that are currently missing, like knitting, for example, and stuff like that. Fingers crossed that's gonna happen. I will have a bunch of Dream Home Decorator videos up with you on Monday, because that's when our early access is allowed to go up. So from Monday, I'll have a ton of Dream Home Designer stuff. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in the next one. Bye now.